see. So, you are the one that will be the next prince of darkness.
Good evening, my fellow fiends, and welcome to the 13th night of A Boy and His Dog's 31 Nights of Halloween. For the 13th night, we're taking a look at the strange but actually quite interesting game Hell Night. Hell Night, aka Dark Messiah in Japan, is a first-person 3D survival horror adventure game with 2D point-and-click style elements. Developed by, and apologies for butchering, Danu Aizu Shishu, I don't know, and published in collaboration between Atlas Co. and Konami in 1988, and I believe was never released in the USA. Though the opening is a bit of a muddle, basically a creature merges with a scientist, escapes a lab, and causes murder and mayhem on a subway train that you and a girl called Naomi happen to be on. The train crashes with only you and Naomi apparently surviving. Your only way forward is through a maintenance area. And this is where one of the 2D style point and click sections come into play. You move the cursor around to look and interact or pick up objects. Here we find a compass and a crowbar which we can then use on the floorboards and escape down into the sewers. Yeah, I know. Always the fucking sewers. But this is finally when you get to play, as you do for most of the game, in a first-person 3D style game. Well, when you meet a person, they aren't in a 3D environment, they pop up in front of the screen. The object is to explore each area and try to escape from the creature that has followed you from the subway. There is no way to attack this beast, it can't die ever. All you can do is run if it finds you. There is a way to stun it later, but we'll get to that. Controls are fine and all that you need. From shoulder buttons, strafe you left and right. The back shoulder button spins your view around while you're walking or running in the opposite direction. This is great and actually quite tense when you're running from the creature. You have a run button, but after a while you become breathless and have to stop, so use it wisely. So the game seems simple enough, being chased by a monster while you work out environmental and iron puzzles to make your way out. But it's once you leave the sewer and enter the mesh, as it's called, that the game really does change. but not for the last time. Though admittedly, most of the time you will be walking down corridors of varying design. Within the walls of this humongous mesh hide many secrets and interesting characters. You find a pub with, of all things, a serial killer who can become an optional companion for the rest of the game. There's also interesting folk who just live down here, like one who just wants to drink their life away and die happy after you give them a bottle of whiskey. Some of the characters, like the serial killer I mentioned earlier, can become a companion, but not if you already have one. The only way to get a new companion is if the one before has died, and each has a different skill. For instance, Naomi can sense when the creature is near. Some of the other characters can shoot and stun the creature, which is helpful for getting out of sticky situations, making trying to get Naomi to the finish line one of the trickiest endings to get. This is a really strange and interesting mechanic. You begin with Naomi, and if the creature catches up with you at any point, she dies first. If you survive and bump into one of the other main characters, they will join your group. Like the serial killer, if he dies, the next one along will join you. What makes this even more interesting is it changes parts of the story, like scenes here and there and dialogue with certain characters. Indeed, with one specific character, the game ends earlier, but I don't want to spoil that. Once you get to the deepest part of the mesh, you reach a train which takes you to an altar where everything changes and the game decides to go batshit trippy insane. Again, I don't want to spoil the story as it gets very interesting and goes in a very different path than you'd think. I will show you a montage at the end, out of context. Prepare for a whole minute of trippy sounds and visuals, is all I'm going to say. In the end, I know this game can appear like an endless corridor runner with a Nemesis knockoff, but you do really get caught up in the atmosphere of the place, and seeing all the different types of characters just trying to live their life down there is really interesting. And then the game, as stated, goes fucking batshit. It's bloody glorious. Towards the end, you see different visions depending on what characters you bring to the end, and it affects the ending as well. So it's definitely worth going back with a different character. Also, each holds a key to the overriding story. It's all great trippy stuff, and sometimes it's generally scarier when the fucker is chasing you down and every bloody door seems to be locked. I definitely recommend this game if you can pick it up anywhere, a bit of a hidden gem. And I hope you've enjoyed the 13th night of Halloween. Join me tomorrow if you dare for more spooky shenanigans. Remember, you won't know what it is until you've clicked on the video. As always, I hope you're having the frightfulest of nights, my fiends. And until next time, be seeing you.
game.